Hey, this is Maginoni. Welcome to another edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Disappointing. Now, my disclaimer for this week is this. There really wasn't what I would consider truly horrible books or truly disappointing, but I think my picks are enough to let me go, okay, I have some talking points. But keep in mind, even though I'm going to be a little bit maybe harsh, a little too harsh on it, it's not like it was the end of the world disaster. All right, first up is The Good. Now, The Good, I really had some issues with picking because I really do think that there was a number of good books, but I wanted to spotlight Old Man Logan #1 by Lemire. Basically, what we have is we have the same art as, the art style is the Secret Wars, and which is fantastic. The artwork is just great. And this is Logan coming from the Old Man Logan world to the new post Secret Wars Marvel Universe. And what I really like about this is you get, okay, this is where we're at. Then we get a flashback. So, for those of you who maybe didn't read Old Man Logan, the miniseries, it gives you an idea of the world he came from. And then he basically has a hit list. And this is basically the Wolverine that we all know and love before he got declawed. And he goes out and he kills his first target. Now, his other targets are going to be a bit more difficult, and I really don't see him taking down the other targets, but I like the approach to say that this Wolverine is more serious, this Wolverine will kill, and it's a different Wolverine, setting him apart from Logan, the one who's encased in adamantium. So I think this is, like I said, I think this is off to a great start, and was very very pleased with this issue. Highly recommend it. All right, the bad. Okay, and this is the all new, all different Avengers. Now, I have a feeling some of you will argue the point of Majino, you are insane. It's the Inhumans. Okay, and yes, technically you're right, but here's the problem. With all new, all different Avengers, even though Wade is a good writer, to me, I get this sense. I feel like I'm Jarvis in this book, in that Jarvis goes to work, and you have to realize that remember he was working in the Avengers Mansion, he's working at Avenger Tower, and now he's working at the Avenger Garage, and he's just the Avenger Hangar, and he's just not impressed with his new surroundings, and it's kind of like how I'm feeling right now, because on one hand you have this really optimistic Tony Stark, let's go save the world team, and then you get Nova, Miss Marvel, and Spider-Man, the Ultimate Youth Spider-Man. So it's kind of like the adults are taking the kids on a field trip, and this is it's really bothering me, because I like the concept, because what they're doing in this issue, or the series in a sense, is saying we are passing the torch. It's like we want these characters to get popular. We want the people to know who these characters are. The people who maybe wouldn't read Miss Marvel or Nova or Spider-Man. And by putting them in an Avenger book with, the Thor and Falcon, Cap, and Iron Man, Vision, maybe that will give them exposure. So I can appreciate that. But it just, and it's sad because, Wade does succeed at making this seem like it's a field trip. But at the same time, I feel kind of cheated because it's an Avenger title, and I don't know. It's just, to me, the Avengers were always the team that tackles the biggest and the baddest. And there's no way this team can do that. And the comic points that out, because there's like basically a sudden hurricane shows up, the Avengers goes to save the people, and the people are just unimpressed because they're like, well, where's the real Avengers? And that's what I feel. Where's the real Avengers? But so that's why I'm kind of torn. And I'll still get it, but to me, this just doesn't feel like what I think it should feel. Disappointing book. Superman number 48. Now, again, it's not that I truly think this is a truly disappointing book. It's just that I think at how the story was laid out, that's what I kind of feel is disappointing. Basically, this is right after Superman Wonder Woman, where Wonder Woman takes Superman to the gods, and the gods basically put him through a test and then make him mortal. And he was on death's door before, and now he's okay, but mortal. And to me, like in this issue here, they're making the mad dash at curing Superman's problem with this, being able to absorb solar energy. And they make reference to the fact that he's mortal and he can be hurt. And when you get to the very end, it's basically like, look, we got to get the cure going. Superman's, I think I figured it out. If you give me a dose of kryptonite, a severe dose of kryptonite will kill off all the cells that are dead that can't regenerate, and then that will spark new cells to be generated, and then I should be fine. And while that is a very risky plan, and cover aside, okay, what solidifies that that's the right decision to do is they send supervillain shows up, goes, hey, I knew you were going to be here, Superman, so now I got to kill you. And which basically means if I don't stop you from getting this severe dose of kryptonite, you're going to get your power again, and then you're going to stop our fiendish plan. So to me, that was like you gave away that's that they're on the right direction. Two, I think that they really, in a sense, okay, now I don't agree with what they've done necessarily with Superman and depowering him and all, outing him and all that stuff. I think that they could have done things a little bit differently. But since we're down on this path, I think that when they had him become mortal, and then the very next issue he's going for the cure, it kind of makes you wonder, like, how desperate are they to get done with the story. Because that is an interesting plot point. I mean, if you really think about it, you have a person who is basically God. Somebody who's extremely OP. He's invulnerable. He's got, superhuman strength. He can fly, X-ray vision, heat vision, all this other nonsense. And suddenly he can barely fly anymore. It's more of like a hop. He doesn't have as much strength anymore. He can be hurt, and now he's mortal. That is like a true storyline that you can explore, where it really dives into who Clark is and what makes him be the hero. Because if you really think about it, Clark's a hero because he has these abilities. Without having super strength, without being able to fly, would he would he do anything to help people? To be the one to inspire. And I think when you take the character and you strip him away from his powers, and all you want to do is quickly bring those powers back without exploring his true character, you're really missing an opportunity. And I mean, I understand Marvel's doing that whole rebirth nonsense, and I have a feeling with this DC rebirth thing, this is maybe one reason why that they're on the fast track to get this thing closed. But it's just sad because this was potentially could be a really interesting story, where you really dive into the depths of who Clark is, what truly motivates him, and what makes Clark Kent the hero. Is it Clark Kent because of his core beliefs and what his sense of doing what's right? Or is it because it's a guy who has a cape who is invulnerable? And I think that's where they're dropping the ball. And I think that that's a storyline that, in the right hands, could have just been an amazing storyline. But anyways, that's why this is a disappointment. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Let me know what you thought was your good books, your bad, your disappointings of the week. We'll have some more reviews later. Like and share. And I mean you over there, pointing at you. Like and share. And until next time.